What is up, everybody? This is your boy, Teran Rodriguez, bringing you another edition of Set Point. And as always, we have ourselves a jam-packed show as we have a lot to get into in the world of volleyball, such as Texas A&M taking down number 7 Texas on the road in 5. How did those Aggies do it against the Longhorns? And what does this say about the Aggies' chances of making the NCAA tournament? Also, how about Michigan State reverse sweeping USC? How much does that hurt USC in terms of possibly hosting? I might have a few things to say about that because you know I wanted those Trojans to host in terms of the NCAA tournament. And also, CIF Southern Section Division 1 girls volleyball playoffs have been rather fascinating as Marymount upset Miracosta and Redondo Union took down Huntington Beach. And those teams managed to put themselves into the CIF Southern Section Final. Also, the ADP Week 7 is in the books as well as one more week remaining. Hand me a buzzer. Step back. Some of us biggest volleyball action here on Set Point. Teran Rodriguez bring you another edition of Set Point here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. And we welcome all to another edition of Set Point. Thank you all for joining me on this beautiful Monday afternoon, Monday evening, Monday wherever you are listening from. Either way, you've made your way to episode 270 of Set Point. And without any further delay, let us begin. But first and foremost, Set Point would not be where it's at without IE Sports Radio providing the platform to go live on StreamYard. Please do follow IE Sports Radio on several different social media platforms such as X, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Also, make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube because we are trying to get to over 100 or 200 subscribers. And with your help, we can get to that number. Trying to reach that by the end of Thanksgiving, if not the end of November. And also make sure to check out IE Sports Radio on several different podcast platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Audible, Castbox, Deezer, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, Geo7. The list goes on and on. And make sure to check out our website, iesportsradio.com, for all of your latest sports news, our blog, our pages dedicated to each podcast, such as Set Point, our merchandise shop, where you can cop all of your IE Sports Radio t-shirts, tank tops, and hoodies for the winter, and other sorts of IE Sports Radio merchandise. Also, make sure to check out our Hall of Fame, and everything else that's on our website, such as our blog, which you can even write for. Just contact Mike Pat. For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports states around the country. Thank you to everyone for all of your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that sports. Make sure to follow Set Point on several different social media platforms such as X, at @set_point_IE, on Instagram at @set_point_IESR, also on Facebook as well. And you can follow me, the host, on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Teran Rodriguez1. Before we get on into the volleyball action, we have to give word to our sponsors, Planet Jerky, Premium Brisket Beef Jerky, and Seal the Deal Wax Seals, as well as give light to IE Sports Radio, which is providing the platform to go live on StreamYard. So without any further delay, let's do this.
IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm. single-A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the iSports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
That's right, everybody. Definitely check out our sponsors, Planet Jerky, Premium Brisket Beef Jerky, and Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. We greatly appreciate them for keeping the lights on. And also make sure to check out isportsradio.com. There, once again, there's the website and the website and the page dedicated to Set Point. All right, with all that said and done, let's get on into the volleyball action. So Week 9 was something else when it came to the women's volleyball world. And honestly, I was rather impressed with some of the matches that went on. It was quite the eventful week, if you ask me. So let's get into it. So we have to start on Monday just because, well, Monday there was a ranked matchup happening. It wasn't too notable as we had Grand Canyon taking on Arizona State, which Grand Canyon unfortunately just could not. It was too much for Grand Canyon. Arizona State swept him. Now, this isn't indicative of how talented Grand Canyon is, just how good Arizona State is. So quick little recap right there. Nothing too special and important. I do love those little matchups right there, just because Grand Canyon is a projected NCAA tournament team and whatnot. If they play their cards right, they could make the NCAA tournament, but it's a time will tell process. Tuesday, we didn't have anything too notable. Wednesday, we had Stanford sweeping Cal, or number 5 Stanford sweeping Cal. No huge deal on that. Now, Texas A&M took down number 7 Texas, which was the big headliner last Wednesday. Now, this was a huge win just because the Longhorns took down the Aggies the first go-around, but the Aggies got the better of them. It's the first win for Texas A&M over Texas since 2010. That's just how long the Aggies were long yearning for a win over Texas. And remember, Texas was the team that took down Texas A&M in the NCAA tournament in the opening round in 4 sets. So I think this is a special win for Jamie Morrison and his club. So for Texas, this is just a small bump in the road. They're still going to win the SEC. I don't think it's going to affect them too much. And they were obviously going to have a few clunker games or a few tough losses here and there. Like, nobody could really run through a conference that easily, at least not to my knowledge. But overall, this loss won't hurt Texas too much. They just can't have too many of those on nightly bases. Then we had number 9 Kansas taking down Iowa State in 4. Number 10 Purdue took down Ohio State in straight sets. Number 15 Minnesota took down Northwestern in straight sets. Number 23 Baylor took down Houston in 4. And that was pretty much all the notable ranked matchups. Oh, yeah, I think it was Tuesday, I want to say. It was either Tuesday or somewhere in the middle of the week. We had South Dakota State outlasting South Dakota. That was a big win just because the Jacks are still undefeated and there's still that target on their back. Now it's only a matter of time before maybe we could see them ranked. But I don't think they're going to get ranked anytime soon. Unfortunately, their body of work doesn't really reflect it, but it is what it is. Excuse me. Unfortunately, if you can tell in my voice, I'm not 100%, but I got put on for y'all. I got to put on for the people. It is what I do. Anyway, for Thursday, we had number 3 Penn State outlasting UCLA in 5. This was a big win for Penn State. I feel maybe this West Coast road trip was a little bit, I wouldn't say challenging, but it was something new for Penn State because they're not used to going out to the West Coast to play conference games. So I think the first day of playing on the West Coast kind of affected them. But Penn State just still stood on top of business. Now for UCLA, this is another tough loss. I feel that should still help them in terms of making the NCAA tournament. It would be so helpful if UCLA got some of these 5-setters to go their way, kind of like that did against Georgia Tech early in the season. But UCLA, I still think, is a good candidate to make the NCAA tournament. If they miss the tournament again because they were the first few out, I don't know what to say with UCLA's luck. Then we had number 8 Wisconsin taking down Indiana in straight sets. That's no surprise right there. Number 13 Arizona State took down Arizona in 4 sets. That was a nice win for the Sun Devils, taking down the Wildcats yet again. Then we had Michigan State reverse sweeping number 16 USC. Now, I have a little bit of problems with this one. It's like, don't get me wrong, Michigan State wound up winning, and good for them. Good for Leah Johnson's program. But for USC, getting reverse swept at home just leaves a very questionable taste in my mouth. Like, I basically said, please, USC, please, as long as you don't have too many bad losses or you don't get into the bad pitfalls of Big Ten conference play, you should be able to host. But USC, unfortunately, fell into that pitfall. They fell in 5 sets, and that could be the difference between them not hosting and them hosting in the NCAA tournament. And it sucks because I thought USC, after them being up 2 sets, I was thinking, okay, well, USC's got this. Nope, they didn't. And USC, if they want to have success in the NCAA tournament, they have to beat the big time teams. And losing to teams like this doesn't really help their case, and it doesn't really help their seeding at all. I definitely think USC is going to make the NCAA tournament, but this loss kind of doesn't reinforce the fact that they're going to go deep into the tournament or they're going to have a Elite 8 run or a Final 4 run. I just feel that Sweet 16 is as good as it might get for SC. And that's no disrespect to USC. I feel they are a talented team. The problem is, it's just that there are just a lot of better teams ahead of them. Then we had number 22 Utah taking down Kansas State in 4 sets. And then a very underrated matchup that we had on Thursday. We had Cal Poly outlasting Long Beach State in 5. Now, Long Beach State, when it went up 2-0 or 2-1 against Cal Poly, they were down 21-17, tied it up at 22 apiece. But or was it? No, I think they were. It was like 20-16. And then they were tied 21 apiece, and then Cal Poly wound up winning the 4th set 25-22 to force the 5th. And then it was just pretty much all Cal Poly. The closest that USC got was 9-7, as Cal Poly just pretty much ripped it, pretty much pulled away after they were up 9-7. They ended the match on a 6-0 run to beat Long Beach State at Long Beach State. Now, that was a match I thought Long Beach State could have won, and I thought maybe they had a shot at that one, but Cal Poly just kind of reinforced the fact that they're still one of the favorites to win that Big West Conference. And the Big West continues to be fun because you're about to see firsthand that some of these results were still mind-boggling. Then on Friday, we had number 1 Pitt taking down number 4 Louisville in 5. Now, this was played in Peterson Gymnasium, not Fitzgerald Fieldhouse, but Pitt was still able to take down the Cardinals in 5. This was such a big win for Pitt just because those two are kind of the class of the ACC, as well as Stanford. Now, for Pitt, for those that were wondering, well, why couldn't I watch this? It was on ACC Extra, which does not do its justice in terms of watching certain matches, watching that match. Come on, ACC Extra. There had to have been something really good happening on the ACC network if this match got the shaft to ACC Extra. Like, come on, y'all. Be better than that. Unless there was like a football game going on. But this match did not deserve to be on ACC Extra. But I digress. Then we had number 2 Nebraska sweeping Illinois. Third set was rather tight, but Nebraska was able to pull out the win as it was kind of the battle of, I think it was the Riley sisters, Bergen Riley and her sister facing off against one another, which I thought was pretty cool. Then we had number 5 Stanford sweeping Cal, number 6 Creighton sweeping Georgetown, number 11 Oregon sweeping Maryland, number 12 SMU sweeping Notre Dame. We had number 17 Georgia Tech sweeping NC State. Number 23 Baylor took down number 18 TCU in 5, which I thought was a very good win. Baylor is kind of this anomaly team where one week they look iffy, and the next week they look pretty good. They look like a legit team that could host. Then we had number 25 North Carolina beating number 19 Florida State in North Carolina in 5. Another good win for North Carolina, and that kind of reinforces the fact that they still deserve to be ranked, and they might have a nice little firm vice grip on that 25 spot, and they could be going up. Then number 20 Dayton took down Fordham in straight sets. Number 21 BYU took down Colorado in 4, and then number 24 Florida took down Tennessee in 4. So there you have it right there in terms of those matchups. And then Saturday, we had number 2 Nebraska taking down Michigan in 4 sets. I thought this was a good matchup just because Michigan really brought in that first set. But after that, Nebraska just settled down and just said, you know what, let's play our game. Let's bring it back. Michigan is a good team. And I like the fact that Nebraska respected that they are a good team because Michigan last year, no. Michigan this year, they're what's up. And Michigan will pull out some sort of big-time win this year. It's just going to depend on where it's going to be at. And speaking of the Big Ten, we had number 8 Wisconsin taking down number 10 Purdue in straight sets. Now, this matchup had a lot of specialness. This match was very special as it was nationally televised on NBC, which I thought was pretty awesome sauce. And it was also at the Mackey Arena, which was sold out yet again. So great job to Purdue. Unfortunately for Purdue, this match just really did not go their way, except in the second set. The first set was kind of a throwaway just because Wisconsin went on a 12-0 run with Charlie Furbringer serving really tough, and that just goes to show how good Wisconsin is. But second set, Purdue was down 24-19. They routed off four straight points to only be down 24-23, but Wisconsin was able to shut the door on them. And then Wisconsin eventually carried that momentum into the third set. It's a bummer because if you're a Purdue fan, you probably wish that one went 4. If you're someone watching on TV, you're probably wishing that one went 4. It sucks because I think Purdue definitely left them a lot of meat on this bone. But Wisconsin, it just goes to show that Wisconsin is still them, and they still can't contend in the Big Ten. Then we had number 3 Penn State taking down number 16 USC in 4. I almost had the crazy mindset of going to this matchup, but then when I saw the start time being 8 p.m., no. I'm just going to say any match that starts at 8 p.m. is a big fat NO to me. I feel bad for East Coasters that have to even watch a certain match at 8 p.m. But for Penn State, this win was pretty nice just because that fourth set really could have gone either way. I think it was decided 33-31 on a walk-off service ace from Cameron Hanna, which, man, if you're a USC, losing off a walk-off service ace after a marathon set like that, that's got to be a kick in the teeth. And for USC, this would have been a great win for them had they pulled it off, but unfortunately, it just gets to show that USC has a lot of work to do, and they got to work a little harder if they want to have a deep NCAA tournament run, let alone host. Then we had number 6 Creighton taking down Seton Hall in straight sets. We had number 9 Kansas sweeping number 22 Utah. Number 20 Dayton swept Fordham again. And also on this past Saturday, we had UC San Diego taking down Cal Poly in Big West Conference action. That was a nice win for UC San Diego because if I recall correctly, the Tritons had never beaten Cal Poly. So with UCSD having that eligibility of making the NCAA tournament and the Big West Conference tournament, that's going to be something to watch for. Those Tritons really can play. Then we also had UC Santa Barbara taking down Long Beach State in 5. Once again, Long Beach State went up 2-1 in the match. Santa Barbara woke up and forced the 5th set. And Santa Barbara, I think, was up 10-6. And then Long Beach State rallied to tie it up at 10-10. Eventually, Long Beach State found – it was 11. It was 10-6, and then eventually Long Beach State tied it up at 11-11. They eventually went up 12-11, but then Santa Barbara rattled off 3 straight to go up 14-12. Long Beach State saves 1 match point, but then Santa Barbara is able to close the match out and escape with their 3rd straight win, and they deny Long Beach State winning a win in Santa Barbara, which would have been the first time since, I think, 2016. But Santa Barbara has beaten the Beach 7 straight times at the Thunderdome, so give credit where credit's due. A tough week for Long Beach State just because, well, first and foremost, if they want to win the Big West Conference tournament or make it for that matter, they're going to need to pull out some wins just because that fourth place is in a 4-way tie and only 3 teams can make it. Just because the 1, 2, and 3 spot are occupied, and then one of those 4th place teams will be on the outside looking in. So the Beach has really got to step it up, and they can't afford too many of these losses in Big West Conference play. Otherwise, the tournament won't be featuring them, the conference tournament for that matter. Then we had number 1 Pitt taking down Notre Dame in 4 sets. Now, the weird thing is, I think that Pitt would lose that third set, but, you know, it might have been a case of taking out the starters. Notre Dame got off to a good start. Unfortunately for Notre Dame, that good fortune kind of ran out after set number 3 as they wound up losing in 4. But still, thinking that set off of Pitt was pretty solid, but it's not going to win you too many awards. Then we had number 4 Louisville taking down number 12 SMU in 4 at SMU. This was nationally televised on ESPN, which we're seeing a lot of ACC matches being nationally televised. Now, this was a nice bounce-back win for Louisville. They could ill afford to lose 2 straight, especially on the road. So a great win for Louisville. Tough loss for SMU, but they're still having a fantastic season, and I can still see them hosting. Then we have number 11, Oregon sweeping Rutgers. Number 14, Kentucky sweeping Ole Miss. Number 15, Minnesota reverse swept Ohio State. Oh, how that would have been such a nice win for Ohio State. But Minnesota hangs on, and their chances of hosting still remain intact. Then we had number 17, Georgia Tech taking down Wake Forest in 4. Number 19, Florida State swept Duke. And number 25, North Carolina outlasted Miami in 5, completing the Florida sweep on their home floor. Don't look now, but North Carolina has not lost at home this season, and that's kind of big for them. If they continue to play like that, they could pull off some big wins on their home floor if it gets to that point. But North Carolina is making a nice little argument of staying ranked. While it was against Miami, you got to remember that Miami team is still pretty good because remember that team did beat Texas early in the season. But Miami losing just kind of reinforces the fact that losing to Miami is hurting Texas in terms of their RPI, of course. But all in all, a good win for North Carolina. I guess I should also make note of last Saturday where there was Hawaii taking down CSUN in 5, which the 5-set sisters on the island continue to go the distance, but continue to find ways to win, which I think is pretty cool. But those 5-setters got to be taking a toll on Robin and Mo, but I digress. All right, that is that for the Week 5 recap. Just going to lower my camera really quick just to have you see the Set Point logo. Now let's go to the ABCA/TerraFlex Top 25 poll for this week. So top 6 are still intact. Wisconsin moves up to 7. Kansas is at 8. Texas is at 9. Oregon is at 10. Purdue is at 11. SMU 12. Arizona State 13. Kentucky 14. Minnesota 15. Georgia Tech 16. 17 is Baylor. Big jump for them. 18 is TCU. 19 is Dayton. 20 is BYU. USC is 21. Utah is 22. Florida State is 23. Florida is 24. And North Carolina rounds off the top 25. So the big thing that sticks out to me is this. Why is North Carolina not ahead of Florida State? Why? Florida State has a few losses here and there. Heck, they even lost to Florida. So why are they even ahead of Florida, for goodness sake? Why is North Carolina not ahead of both Florida and Florida State? Florida, I don't know if anyone knows this, but North Carolina has only lost 2 matches all season. 2 matches all season. One of which was to NC State. I know they don't have too many matches that have proven that they deserve to be ranked a little higher, but come on, let's give North Carolina a little more love. I mean, we're giving SMU the love. We're giving Georgia Tech some love. But I digress. And as we saw, USC fell down quite a bit, and I really want them to be in the top 16 in terms of at the end of the season in terms of them wanting to host. So USC, y'all better pull off some sort of big win to get yourself back in that top 16 and make the committee put you back in that top 16. Because I really want y'all to host so I could be there at the NCAA tournament for your matches or for all the matches in that regional slate. So please, USC, I beg of you, make the committee make you a top 16. team. I beg of you. Anyway, that's just me begging and grasping at straws. I mean, USC still has time, but time might be running out for them. Anyway, yeah, I also kind of wish that Texas A&M would get ranked as well, just because beating Texas is no easy feat. But then again, Miami isn't ranked, but they lost to Texas, or they beat Texas too. But then again, they've had some losses here and there as well. So I don't know. I think North Carolina has a firm grip on that 25 spot. I think that they deserve to be ranked a little higher. So either someone didn't watch North Carolina, or there's a reason why North Carolina isn't ranked. Maybe it's because they had to go 5 with Miami, but Miami's a good team. Florida State's a good team. They were in the top 20. So why are we not giving North Carolina the love? Like, come on. All right, but that's that for the top 25 poll. So now looking at the matches to watch for in Week 10. So looking at Week 10, Tuesday we've got Dayton hosting Duquesne. That's pretty much that right there for Tuesday. Wednesday we have number 3 Penn State hosting Michigan. That could kind of be a sneaky good game, but I would expect Penn State to stand on top of business. But Michigan, do not sleep on Michigan. Then we have number 4 Louisville hosting Notre Dame. Number 8 Kansas hosting Texas Tech. Number 10 Oregon hosting Washington. That's a sneaky good game right there as well, just because those two are rivals, and I think Washington also needs to prove themselves. They were ranked at one time, but unfortunately the Huskies kind of got knocked out after a few losses here and there to UCLA and to Wisconsin. Sorry. Then we have number 17 Baylor hosting Iowa State. Kind of can be a sneaky good game, but Baylor probably should stand on top of business. Number 18 TCU hosts Colorado. Number 24 Florida hosts or is on the road against Arkansas. Maybe. I mean, Arkansas isn't bad. What I would like to see out of them is a big win from them, and I think that is their best chance to do so. But for now, that's pretty much all we have for Wednesday. Thursday, we have number 13 Arizona State at BYU. The two also play each other on Saturday, which this is BYU's time to maybe pick up some, at least one big win. If they can get 2 over Arizona State, that's huge. And that could really put a damper on Arizona State's chances of maybe winning the Big 12. But Arizona State's got to prove they can win at BYU, which I think is possible. And then we have number 21 USC at UCLA. Now, USC won the first meeting between them and the Bruins. I think this is going to be a fun matchup. This could be another chance for UCLA to really prove themselves. If they get a few ranked wins here and there, I think they're a lock for the NCAA tournament. But it's a 6:30 p.m. start time, so thankfully East Coasters won't have too much gripe with this. But hopefully for USC's sake, they can pull it out. But UCLA, I think they're hungry for an upset win, or at least a win over SC. Because they could have beaten SC the first go-around, but unfortunately the fifth set just kind of didn't go their way. And then we have number 22 Utah hosting Arizona. It kind of can be a good game right there. I don't know if it can, but maybe it can. But we'll have to wait and see. It's a time will tell process. I feel Utah should be able to handle that one. It's the battle of the 2 former Pac-12 teams, but we'll see. Then we have number 1 Pitt at Virginia. Well, this should kind of be a fun matchup just because Virginia is solid and under the radar, but can they handle the number 1 team in the nation? I expect that place to be bumping and jumping. Then we have the big matchup. Number 2 Nebraska at number 7 Wisconsin. If there's ever a match for Wisconsin to win, it's this one. I give Wisconsin a very good shot at winning this one just because ever since their Big Ten opener where they lost to Minnesota, ever since Wisconsin lost to Minnesota. They've won 9 in a row. Now, Nebraska they've kind of been bulletproof in terms of the Big Ten. They haven't lost a match, but they haven't been invincible. Now they get a big test against those Wisconsin Badgers. And I kind of give Wisconsin a good shot at winning this, but Nebraska plays defense like none other. I really think this is going to be a battle to the finish. If this were at the Bob, I definitely would give the edge to Nebraska, but Wisconsin's playing some good volleyball, so I think Wisconsin just barely ekes out a win. Just barely. But you never know. With these two teams, anything is possible. Then we have number 3, Penn State hosting Iowa. Number 5, Stanford at Miami. Kind of can be a sneaky good matchup, but come on. Stanford is Stanford. I don't think Miami could pull out this win. Unless, of course, they block really well on the left side. But that's a big if. Then we have number 6, Creighton hosting St. John's. That's as sneaky good matchup you'll get from the Big East, but I think Creighton can stand on business. Then we have number 9, Texas hosting Missouri. Number 11, Purdue at Maryland. Number 12, SMU at Virginia Tech. Number 14, Kentucky at South Carolina, which Kentucky's got to be careful. South Carolina loves to pull these upsets in the SEC. Book it right there. I'm not saying book it as in if this upset will happen, but calling it right now, don't be surprised if South Carolina does beat Kentucky. But if Kentucky wins, then Kentucky wins. And we have number 15, Minnesota at Michigan State. If Minnesota thinks they're going to get an easy matchup against Michigan State, they're wrong. Minnesota's got to play locked in and ready to go against those Spartans. Then we have number 16, Georgia Tech at Duke. We have number 17, Baylor hosting Colorado. Number 18, TCU hosting Iowa State. And number 23, Florida State hosting Cal. And number 25, North Carolina hosting Clemson. So that's pretty much that in terms of in all the notable ranked matchups right there. And all the ranked matchups entirely. I guess a sneaky good matchup would be UC Davis at UC San Diego. Now, Davis has looked pretty impressive. They are atop the Big West Conference, and you know I'm a big West Conference buff. But let's see if those Aggies can handle a nice little road trip down to La Jolla. Then we have number 4, Louisville at Notre Dame. Number 8, Kansas at West Virginia. UCLA at number 10, Oregon. Again, another chance for UCLA to prove that they belong in the NCAA tournament and for them to possibly, that's the word possibly, pull out a win. But they still have to win at Oregon. It's doable for them, but Oregon is still Oregon. They have Mimi Collier, Oni Afobu, Michelle Olobete, Mackenzie McMorris. You get the point. Then you have number 11, Purdue at Rutgers. Number 13, Arizona State at number 22, Utah. That's a nice little test for Arizona State. 2 big tests this week for Arizona State. It's put up or shut up time because Arizona State, if they want to, stay in that contention for the Big 12 Conference Championship, they're going to need to continue to stay steady. And playing at Utah is a very good test for them this week. Then you have number 19, Dayton at George Mason. Number 20, BYU hosting Arizona. This can kind of be a good matchup on Friday. I'm sorry, not on Friday. On Friday. Because UC Santa Barbara plays at Hawaii. That can kind of be a good matchup. And then on Saturday, Hawaii, which will be late, bleeding over to Sunday, they'll be hosting Cal Poly. Huge test right there for the Rainbow Wahine. And that is pretty much that for all of the Saturday notable matchups. I know y'all probably, most of my audience isn't really interested in the Big West, but the Big West has some very crazy scenarios happening. Like, there's no clear-cut winner. And heck, even the best team isn't even guaranteed to win the Big West championship. But I digress. Anyway, Sunday we have number 1, Pitt at Virginia Tech. Number 2, Nebraska at Northwestern. Number 5, Stanford at number 23, Florida State. Now, if I recall correctly, I think, is it this one that is the nationally televised match on ESPN, or is it number 16, Georgia Tech at number 25, North Carolina? Either way, those are the matchups that headline Sunday. I think those are two really good matchups. I wouldn't be surprised if Stanford, Florida State is the one that's going to be televised on ESPN, but I think those are two great matchups for the ACC. And it's great that the ACC is getting exposure, because I think that the ACC was kind of the little brother that was, or the little sister that was forgotten, just because you had the SEC and all its history and really good teams. You had the Big 12 before Texas left, and then you had the Pac-12, and then the Big 10. So there you go. And then you have number 6, Creighton hosting Villanova. Number 7, Wisconsin at Illinois. Number 9, Texas in the Red River rivalry against Oklahoma. Number 12, SMU at Virginia. It's going to be a fun one right there. Big test for Virginia this week. Then number 14, Kentucky is at Georgia. Number 15, Minnesota is at Michigan. Number 19, Dayton is at George Mason. Number 21, USC hosts Washington. And then number 24, Florida hosts Ole Miss. So that's pretty much that for all of the matches to watch for in Week 10. I probably won't be at a match this week in terms of NCAA women's volleyball. Probably going to be checking out the high school level and whatnot, but we'll see. All right, but that's going to do it for the NCAA women's volleyball portion of the show. Let's take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we will discuss some AVP, and then we'll discuss a little high school girls volleyball, and then we'll also discuss some big USA volleyball news. So keep it locked here. You are listening to Set Point here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that sports. We'll be right back after this.
Hey, Cleveland and Columbus sports fans. This is Jen D, host of the Show of the Land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. If you love Cleveland and Columbus sports like I do, be sure to tune in live to the Show of the Land on Tuesdays, where we will cover the Cleveland Browns, Cavs, Guardians, and Monsters. We will also talk about the Columbus Blue Jackets, Crew, Fury, and of course, the Ohio State Buckeyes. We'll also cover other colleges in the area like Akron, Kent State, Cleveland State, Mount Union, John Carroll, Baldwin Wallace, Youngstown State, among others. So like I said, if you love Cleveland and Columbus sports like I do, be sure to tune in Tuesdays to the Show of the Land with Jen D on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Sports fans, do you like teams that are tough, cities that are tougher, and fan bases that are passionate about their teams? How about teams that are historic and stadiums that are iconic? Then you belong in Chicago, and you need to check out Chi-Town Weekly. Join me, Adam Kernan, every week as we keep up with all things Chicago sports. Bears, Bulls, Blackhawks, Cubs, White Sox. We'll cover them all, plus more. The Windy City is always buzzing, and we'll keep you up on all the big games and major stories. So tune in to Chi-Town Weekly every week right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
back with segment number 2 of Set Point here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that sports. Definitely check out all of our amazing shows, such as Chi-Town Weekly with my man Adam Karnick, as well as the Show of the Land with the Gen B. But with all that said and done, let's get on into our second segment of the show. So we're going to go down to the beach and check out some AVP action. So Week 7 was the AVP's leagues, or Week 7 of the AVP League took us to Anaheim. No, not to Disneyland, to the Honda Center, where we got to see some good teams play, unlike the Anaheim Ducks. No, I'm kidding. But, yeah, we got to see the action in terms of the AVP League. Unfortunately, I was just too busy on Saturday, and I also got a little sick on Saturday, which is why you're probably hearing it in my voice. So I couldn't make it to the AVP League on this weekend, and it just really broke my heart just because my boy Avery Dross was playing. This was his last league games. But man, it really hurt. The sad thing is that they actually approved me to get a credential, and I missed the entire weekend. So curse me for getting sick at the worst time, dude. But it is what it is. I'm here now, and I'm here bringing you the volleyball action. So anyway, so in Week 7, the first match that we had was the New York Nitro versus the Palm Beach Passion, where the Passion was able to edge out the Nitro on the women's side. The Passion won 11-15, 15-13, and 15-13. That was a thriller right there. That was Melissa Jimena Paredes and Brandy Wilkerson taking down Sarah Hughes and Kelly Cheng. Not an easy feat to do. So great job to those. It was the Olympians versus the Olympians as the silver medalists took down the 5th place. The silver medalists from the Paris Olympics took down the 5th place team from the Olympics. So great job to the Palm Beach Passion winning that one. Then we had the New York Nitro kind of standing on top of business, beating the Palm Beach Passion 15-7 and 15-8. Yeah, the Taylor Sander and Taylor Crabb are just not fair when it comes to facing Avery Drost and Phil Dalhouser. So I feel for my boy Avery, but this was kind of expected. And then we had the San Diego Smash taking down the Austin Aces in 3 sets, 13-15, 16-14, and 15-10. And that was on the men's side. On the women's side, the Smash took down the Aces in straight sets, 15-10 and 15-12. That ended Saturday's slate of matches in terms of the AVP League. Then we jumped to Sunday. We had the Palm Beach Passion taking down the San Diego Smash on the women's side in 3 sets, 15-10, 12-15, and 16-14. And the San Diego Smash were 1 point away from completing the perfect weekend. But sadly, it was just not meant to be, as Melissa Jimena Paredes and Brandy Wilkerson had other ideas. That just goes to show how good those two are. That's the reason why they medaled in the Olympics. So there you go. Then on the men's side, you had the San Diego Smash sweeping the Palm Beach Passion 21-19 and 15-10. It was a tough weekend for my boy Avery Drost and his partner Phil Dalhouser. It's unfortunate as the women, no offense to the men, but the women kind of had to carry the load in terms of wins this weekend. And that's no knock on my boy Avery and Phil Dalhouser. So it's just, it was just what it was. And, the San Diego Smash, they have talented pairs. The New York Nitro have talented pairs. It is what it is sometimes. And then we also had the Austin Aces on the men's side upsetting the New York Nitro 7-15, 15-13, and 15-13. That was a nice win for the Aces. That's a very impressive win just because taking on the two Taylors is never easy. So great job to those Aces, acing the test. And then the New York Nitro on the women's side took down the Austin Aces in straight sets. Nice little bounce back win for Sarah Hughes and Kelly Cheng. So this week is actually the last week of the AVP League, as this week we're heading down to my brother's neck of the woods, being Dallas. So that's really cool right there. And I wish I was in Dallas, but it is what it is. I'm not in Dallas. I'm here in California. This is going to be taking place at the Commercia Commercia Center. And the first matchup will be the LA Launch versus the Austin Aces on the women's side. The men's side will follow that. Then we have the San Diego Smash taking on the Dallas Dream on the men's side, and then the women's match will follow after that. And then that ends the Saturday matches. And then on Sunday we have the Austin Aces taking on the Dallas Dream. That's a nice little showdown right there. That's a nice little. I don't know if that's the I-45 matchup, but it's a nice little instant rivalry. The women's match will start, and then the men's match will follow. And then the LA Launch will take on the San Diego Smash on the men's side, and then the women's side will follow after that. So, excuse me for one quick second. Sorry about that. Just had to cough a little bit, but yeah, sickness is still kind of getting the better of me. Oh no. Sorry about that. I really do apologize. I'm hoping to be better fully by this weekend. I really want to be. Anyway, so for the leaderboard, we have the New York Nitro, who have played all 16 of their matches. Oh, great. Okay, this time for real. Looking at the AVP leaderboard, we have the New York Nitro in first place, having played all their matches with 12 wins and 4 losses. The Dallas Dream are in second place, but they haven't played all their matches. They are 8-4 and could finish second if they play their cards right. The Miami Mayhem played all their matches. They pretty much have a spot locked up. There's no way they can finish any lower than 4 unless the Austin Aces run the table. Speaking of the Austin Aces, they are fourth with a 6-6 record. They've only played 12 matches, and as we all know, they are playing this weekend. Then we have the San Diego Smash in fifth place, who pretty much rose from the dead. They were dead last in the rankings, and now they went up to fifth. So they jumped from 8th place to 5th place, which that's pretty good right there. But job's not finished, as a wise someone once said. Then you have the Palm Beach Passion, who finished all their matches. They are 6-10. I hate to say this to my boy Avery Dross, but playoffs are looking extremely doubtful for the Palm Beach Passion. As much as I want to see Avery Dross and Phil Dalhouser in the playoffs, I just don't think it happens, just because the Passion, they need to have a lot to go their way. But it is what it is. Then you have the LA Launch, who have played 12 matches. They're 4-8. A lot would need to go the Launch's way if they want to make the postseason. And then bringing up the rear is the Brooklyn Blaze, who is 5-11. So looks like postseason won't be including them because they're pretty much out. They don't have any matches left, and there's no way they can catch up to the Aces. Or anyone for that matter. So this is the last week. And you know what? Let's make predictions on who will make it. So the Nitro are locked in. The Miami Mayhem are locked in. No. The only way, the Mayhem have locked in a spot. The Nitro have locked in a spot. The only way the Dallas Dream falls out is if the Smash win out and then the Dream pretty much lose out. And then the Aces win at least one. Win at least one. But looking back at the schedule, did the Dream play the? Yeah. The only way that the Smash play the Dream, which is a key matchup right there. Yeah, I think the only way the Smash get in is if they win out and then the Dream lose out, but or the Aces lose out. But you know what? I'm picking the Dream to finish in the top 4 as well. And do I really think the Aces can make the do the Aces or Smash get in? You know what? You know what? Give me the San Diego Smash to make it. I think bold prediction, the San Diego Smash make the postseason and have the greatest comeback we've seen in the first year of the AVP League. So my 4 teams to make it are the Nitro, the Dream, the Mayhem, and the Smash. So there you have it right there. And that is pretty much that for the AVP League 8 week. The AVP League Week 8 preview. It's the last week before playoffs. Playoffs will be played at the Dignity Health Sports Park. Now that I hope to go to. But we can't make promises that we can't keep, like I did last week. But that's going to do it for the AVP portion of the show. We're going to take ourselves one last commercial break. And on that note, when we return, we will talk some high school girls volleyball, and then we'll talk some USA volleyball. Keep it locked here. You're listening to Set Point here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that sports. We'll be right back after this.
Hello, ladies and sinners. Hello, sports fans around the world. Hello, IE Sports family. This is Cale Henderson, the host of IE Vegas, the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio. If you folks are interested in sports in the Vegas area, if you're wanting to have a blast for 1 hour, every Tuesday night from 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, this is a show built for the Vegas sports fans, where we feature the Las Vegas Raiders, the Las Vegas Golden Knights, the Las Vegas Aces, and the University of Las Vegas, Nevada Rebels. Hopefully, fingers crossed, MLB team coming soon. Either way, if you folks are looking to have a blast for 1 hour each and every week, tune in Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you folks are interested in Vegas sports news, go to our Twitter at SinCities_IESR, and you can speak with me, the host, Cale Henderson, at Cale_Henderson on Twitter at any time. Be happy to reply. Always want to reach out to our fans. Again, the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's up, New York? This is Ricky K coming at you at the NY State of Sports, a new show here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Listen to me every Thursday afternoon as we bring you the latest takes on the Yankees, Mets, Jets, Giants, Knicks, Nets, Rangers, Devils, and Islanders. Plus, you get some college hoops and what's the local sports events going on in the area. It's a state that never sleeps, so why not get the opinions and sports takes that never sleep? Again, every Thursday, 2 p.m. to the NY State of Sports. We'll see you then.
Did I get it? Think I got it. All right. Anyway, welcome back to the final part of Set Point here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that sports. Definitely check out all of our amazing shows, such as New York State of Sports and Sin City Sports. With all that said and done, let's get on into our final segment, being high school girls volleyball. Sorry about the little technical hiccup right there. I thought I pressed
mute, which hopefully that is not the case. And if you can hear me, just tell me in the comment section. But we have some high school girls volleyball. So the first bit of results are as follows, and I'm only going to limit it to the CIF Southern Section Division 1 in terms of girls volleyball. So we had Sierra Canyon sweeping Temecula Valley. That was no surprise. Marymount defeating Miracosta in 5 sets. That was big right there. Ellie Vandaway, the NSMU commit, had herself a nice little match right there. We had Mater Dei taking down Los Alamitos, which I thought was pretty big right there. But all those sets were close. And then finally, we had Redondo Union taking down Huntington Beach on the road in 4 sets as well. So breaking down those matchups, first one, that it's not too surprising to see Sierra Canyon standing on business against Temecula Valley. And yeah, nothing against Temecula Valley, but they're kind of a fish that's in a pond full of piranhas. And that's no disrespect against them. It's just that there are just so many more talented teams than them. So it is what it is, but I think that Temecula Valley should shine in state. Now, for Marymount defeating Miracosta, this was kind of a matchup I was going back and forth on, but I was impressed with how Marymount was able to win on the road. The first 3 sets were very tight, but then Marymount found their footing in the 4th set and eventually in the 5th set. Ellie Vandaway obviously had herself a big night. Obviously, Audrey Flanagan had herself a nice night, but she also got help as there were 2 other players that were in double digits in terms of kills for Miracosta. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough, as this was such a big loss for Miracosta. They still have a shot of making the final, as do the other teams that lost on the first day of pool play. But unfortunately, I think that this loss doesn't do them any favors in terms of their confidence. But I think Miracosta will be fine. It's just that I feel that this loss could have definitely been avoided if you're Miracosta. Now, as for Los Alamitos playing Mater Dei I knew was going to win, but Los Alamitos really gave all they could handle against those Monarchs. That might have been the closest to taking a set off of a team in terms of like the playoffs or any team for that matter. So with Mater Dei at full strength, mind you. But Los Alamitos, they obviously are a talented team. They serve tough. They made Mater Dei sweat even on their home floor. But Mater Dei was able to recollect themselves and come up clutch when it mattered most. So great job to Mater Dei and great effort to Los Alamitos. Now, this one I definitely need to, first of all, make apologies to. So I said Redondo Union was kind of the inexperienced team. Well, they looked experienced enough to take down a talented Huntington Beach team on the road in 4. So I think winning and losing in the Bay League kind of toughened them up for this moment. And I really think that Redondo Union does have talent. They have Abby Zimmerman, obviously. They have Taylor Boyce. They have the Junk twins in Avery Junk and Addie Junk. I think that Redondo Union definitely has a bright future ahead of them. But as for their present, it looks good too. And now they're in a position to the point where if they win tomorrow, that could really put them in a great position to maybe, hence the word maybe, make the CIF finals in Division 1. And for Huntington Beach, this is a tough loss right there just because it really puts them in a position where they really have to climb upward in terms of making the final, because now they have to go to Mater Dei and win that one, and they need a little help along the way. So making the CIF finals is now kind of outside of Huntington's control unless they win out and then a lot goes their way. But I think for Huntington Beach, they should still shine in state, but they have to get through Los Alamitos first as well. All right, and speaking of those pool play matchups, Marymount plays at Sierra Canyon tomorrow, and Redondo Union plays at Mater Dei. And those teams that I just mentioned, they're all 1-0. So whoever wins those matches will be in first place in their pool. and most likely in the driver's seat to making the finals. So Marymount, Sierra Canyon. Sierra Canyon and Marymount are both rivals. And Sierra Canyon, we saw what they can do in terms of league this year. Sierra Canyon took down Marymount both times. In 5 sets, the first go around, and in 4 sets, the second time around. So Marymount is playing very good volleyball. And honestly, Sierra Canyon, they're playing very good volleyball as well. But Marymount has really come alive as of late. So I really think that Marymount has a shot at winning. If Ellie Vandaway and all those other players have big nights, I think Sierra Canyon definitely could get slipped up. But until I see Marymount pulling out the win, or until I see Sierra Canyon not being the dominant big bad team that everyone expects them to be, or the number 1 seed that everyone thought or being the number 1 seed that they deserve to be, I just got to go with Sierra Canyon. They were my initial pick to make the final, so give me the Trailblazers to take down the Sailors. And then we have Redondo Union at Mater Dei. So if Mater Dei thinks they're going to walk into this match and they're going to get an easy match, they got another thing coming. Redondo Union is the real deal. And as much as I think Mater Dei could sweep Redondo Union, it's not going to happen because Redondo Union has scrap. They've been battle tested. They placed in the top. They won a tournament. They finished second in a tournament, and then they finished, I think, in the top 8 of a tournament, being Durango. But look, until I see a team beat Mater Dei in a best 3 out of 5 match with Mater Dei at full strength, I just got to pick Mater Dei to win this one. I feel Mater Dei will also stand on business when they beat Huntington Beach. I just feel that Mater Dei is just really good. I know everyone's probably going to say, oh my God, you're such a Mater Dei obsessor. But honestly, Mater Dei, they just check off most of the boxes, if not all of the boxes. Their libero position is great with Kayla Ostavar. Their setter position is good with Soraya Dennis. Layli Ostavar and Wesley Mataveo are great on the pins, as well as Abby Moffett on the right side. You got Emma Kingston and Aston Cody in the middle. They serve very tough. I just feel that Mater Dei is going to be too much for a young Redondo Union team. And that's with them being at full strength. The first time these two teams met, Mater Dei wasn't at full strength. They were far from full strength. They were missing Layli, who was still battling that shoulder injury, and they were still missing Wesley, who was ineligible. So I think for Mater Dei, this time is going to be a little bit different, especially since they are at Mater Dei High School. That's also a big de facto as well. So I think Mater Dei is going to handle business, but don't be surprised if Redondo Union does find a way to make Mater Dei sweat, kind of like Los Alamitos did. But I feel Mater Dei and Sierra Canyon are destined to face one another in the final. So that's basically going to do it for my little preview for those 4 matchups. And then I guess to preview the other matchups on Tuesday, I think Miracosta will beat Temecula Valley, but I feel Temecula Valley might play for pride, so there's that. And then you have Los Alamitos, Huntington Beach. I really think Huntington Beach, this is very interesting for those four teams, because if they go 0-3, they won't be in the open division in terms of state. They'll be in Division 1, which is very winnable. Whereas if you finish at least 1-2, the committee's probably going to throw you in the open division, and you're going to have to face those talented teams that I just mentioned, as well as teams like Cathedral Catholic from the San Diego section, Torrey Pines from the San Diego section as well. So it's pick your poison. I'm not encouraging tanking or throwing the match, but what I do kind of encourage is someone is going to be breathing a sigh of relief that they won't have to play Mater Dei or Sierra Canyon or Cathedral Catholic or Torrey Pines in the open division for the CIF state playoff. So there you have it right there. And I guess looking at Saturday's matchups, you've got Temecula Valley at Marymount. Marymount should win that one. I don't think Temecula Valley has the horses to keep up with Marymount, especially since Marymount, they're just playing really good volleyball as of late. And then Sierra Canyon, Mira Costa. I gotta go with Sierra Canyon. I think I don't know. Maybe Mira Costa pulls out the win, but I think Sierra Canyon will clutch up when it matters most. And I think some of Sierra Canyon's players from 2 years ago are still on that team where they lost to Mira Costa in state. So I think they want a little bit of revenge in terms of that. And then for Redondo Union hosting Los Alamitos, dare I say it, I think Los Alamitos wins. I think Los Alamitos beats Redondo Union, and I think Los Alamitos beats Huntington Beach. It'll be close. I wouldn't be surprised if Los Alamitos had to go 5. I wouldn't be surprised if the Cardiac Griffs had to basically grind out a big-time match over those two teams on the road. And then, like I mentioned, Mater Dei should handle Huntington Beach. I just feel Mater Dei checks off all the boxes that Huntington Beach kind of doesn't. Don't get me wrong, Huntington Beach has a fantastic libero. When I say that Huntington Beach doesn't check off all the boxes, I think Huntington Beach checks off the box for libero. No offense, Kayla Ostavar. They also kind of check off the box in terms of the right side with Taylor Ponchak, but that's kind of where the buck stops. It's nothing against Huntington Beach, but I just feel that Mater Dei is a freaking wagon, and this wagon is not stopping for anybody. So there's my predictions right there. And yeah, I guess, I already mentioned that Los Alamitos is beating Huntington Beach. So tomorrow I have Mater Dei over Redondo Union, Sierra Canyon over Marymount, Mira Costa over Temecula Valley, and Los Alamitos over Huntington Beach. Then on Saturday, I have Sierra Canyon over Mira Costa, Marymount over Temecula Valley, Mater Dei over Huntington Beach, and Los Alamitos over Redondo Union. So there you go. Those are my predictions right there. And that'll do it for the high school girls volleyball portion of the show. Before we get on out of here, I do have one more segment I have to go over, and that is Karch Karai stepping down as the U.S. women's national volleyball team coach, as he's taking on a new role as he'll be coaching the U.S. men's national team, which also had a void after John Speraw stepped down to become the CEO and vice president of USA Volleyball, or was he the president? Either way, Karch Karai is now the new U.S. men's national volleyball team coach, which I think is pretty cool. So he takes on a new role, and I think he's going to enjoy the staff on there, just because he's got Matt Furbringer and all that. And I definitely think it's going to be a nice little change of scenery right there. And I think it's going to benefit them. And remember, the U.S. is coming off of a bronze medal, and they got some big shoes to fill because most of their team is not going to be back. Like, I think TJ Falco isn't going to be back. Taylor Averill isn't going to be back, and so on and so forth. But as for the women's side of things, so here are my candidates on who will be the U.S. women's national team coach. So here are them as follows. I've got Alfie Reft of UCLA, who was an assistant coach. Erin Virtue of Michigan, who I think she was one of the analytics or one of the assistant coaches. Jamie Morrison, who is, he's the U.S. women's collegiate volleyball coach. You have Taiba Hanif Park, who is the head coach of the San Diego Mojo, who was a former U.S. women's national team member. Then you've got Robin Amo, a former U.S. women's national volleyball team member, who is the head coach of Hawaii. And then I also threw this name out there, Brad Keller, who I think has some affiliation in USA Volleyball. Who are your potential candidates to replace Karch Karai as the U.S. women's national volleyball team head coach? Let me know in the comment section. Reach out to me, and I'll also read them on air. But those are my potential candidates for the time being. There are obviously going to be more candidates as time goes on. And it's going to be a massive pool of candidates. It's not going to be like the candidates that are like here, there, here, and there. Not like 10 or so people. I think they might go from like 100 people, but it's going to be a massive pool of candidates. It's not going to be the standard pool of candidates. So there you have it right there. But let me know who your candidates are in terms of who will be the next U.S. women's national volleyball team head coach. The Olympics aren't until 2028, which will be held in Los Angeles. Another name that I think could come to mind is Kevin Hambley. But again, it's still a time will tell process. But that's going to do it for this week's episode of Set Point. I really do appreciate everybody tuning in. I know I wasn't 100%, but I had to deliver the volleyball goodness to you all. So thank you for listening live. Thank you for listening on the playback. I really do appreciate y'all. I should be back Friday for the SoCal Supreme Sports Show, and I should be back this weekend covering volleyball action. But until then, have yourself a great rest of the week. For everyone here at iSports Radio, this is Teran Rodriguez signing off. Enjoy all the volleyball action, whether it's pro, indoors, on the beach, high school, collegiate, the list goes on and on. I will see you all on Friday for the SoCal Supreme Sports Show. Till then, have a great rest of the week, and I will see you on the other side. Peace!